So we're going to now build the rotor and our simple motor using just the battery and some wires. So when you get the solid wire, you're going to want to strip this off, so that's why you would use the wire strippers. I've already done that, but I'll show you. Just find the right size on your wire strippers. It tells you what gauge, and then you just pull that off. And then you'll cut it to the size you need. You probably won't need more than about 4 inches. I've already got that cut. And 2 pieces, you'll need 2. And this is for the post, for the motor. So the first thing we're going to do, of course, you're going to put it on something. I found the foam board is cheap. You could use cardboard, just something to keep it from rolling around. And have an adult maybe help you with that if you're using a hot glue gun. But I found that this works, the foam board works really well. Now, in the Magic of Electricity book, it's going to tell you to coil those wires and keep them straight. I do it a little differently. The reason I do it a little differently, it seems to conduct better. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make 2 small circles and I'm going to use the end of my wire cutters. You can also use a pencil. So if you have a pencil, don't always recommend a mechanical pencil because they're plastic and they might break. But if you want to hold that around the bottom of your pencil and just pull the big end around and slip that right off, you're going to get that circle. And this is going to be sticking up like so. Now, this is something I do a little different than they do in the book. I make a little hook on the end of mine. And one reason I do that is it gives more area for it to hook around, and the positive end of the battery has a nice little terminal on it. And if you make that to where it hooks around that, you get a lot of connectivity there, a lot better than you would if it's just straight. So I'm going to do the same thing with that other one, and I'll use the pencil because that's probably what you'll have at home. And you're just going to go around. A wooden pencil works better. And you want those to be about the same height. And I do this again, even though the negative end of the battery does not have anything to hook, it just gives you more surface area to conduct your electricity. Now with the tape, sometimes I use a helper to help with this part, just because it's nice to have a lending and helping hand with it. But you're going to take off about 18 inches. And I start in the middle of the battery. Doesn't matter which side. And we're going to loop that around that post. And then you're going to pull that electrical tape super tight. Now, electrical tape will stretch, and you want to get a good stretch on that. And I'm wrapping it around this way because I want to put that magnet on top of that battery. And I try to always make sure that they're going the same direction. So if I'm going to put one, both the loops should be going the same way. And again, sometimes you might want to have somebody help you hold those down. They can hold them up the top while you stretch the tape around, or they can stretch the tape around. And you just go around until you run out of tape. Again, pulling it really tight, getting a good stretch on it. Now, if you're thinking, oh, those don't look like they're the same height, that's okay. You can fix that in a minute. Now, are we conducting electricity now? No, because we have not completed our path. Remember, we have to have 3 things to have a complete circuit. We have to have a push, which is our battery. We have to have a path, which would be through the battery, through these wires, across here, and then back down into the battery, which right now we don't have that. We're going to build that rotor in just a minute to make that a complete circuit. And then we have to have something for it to do, which will be spinning. and making that motor turn over and over again. And as we know that there's electricity, anytime we have an electrical current flowing, we have magnetism present. We learned that in our other lessons with magnets. So remember, we know that opposites attract. When we put our rotor on and we put this magnet on our battery, that positive and negative is going to help make that spin. If it's just sitting here, it's conducting electricity, it's going to get hot, which we know there's heat present. But with that magnetism that's being produced by that electrical current and our magnet having that opposite attract thing, is going to make that flip around, and flip around. So we're going to watch to see that happen. We don't want to store a magnet on our battery just because it can also drain some of that energy out. So next we're going to build our rotor, and this is the fun part, but there's also some other things that you have to be really listening and paying attention when you do this.